Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to day two of Fundraiser's Guide to Digital. For those of you who don't know, my name is Alan Archibald. I'm one of the creative directors in Persuasion Republic. We are a full service support to fundraising, comms and marketing for charities and NGOs. I'm here in the Havas office with Fiona and Keane from Havas Media. We are going to be your cabin crew for today's flight. We're going to take you through some topics. I'm going to take you through some housekeeping first, just as people gather. I'm going to take you through the first session, and then Fiona and Keane are going to follow up from there. So they can have a cup of tea. At the minute, I'm going to take over. We'll see you in a few minutes, folks. Just as people are still gathering in, I know we have a little crew behind the scenes who are working on presentations, in particular Katie. We all want to thank you. So this is the second session. For those of you who have to jump off or can't make it, or just to be reassured that there will be a recording of this made available, and also the PDF made available to be easily once afterwards. There is also a recording online. We can share the link with you of the first session happened 2 weeks ago. We will also have a third session in 2 weeks' time, when we'll cover things like social media, Google Analytics, which I'm going to talk about, and the most powerful about, which is email. So in the meantime, I'm going to ask Casey to share the screen, and I'm going to kick off today's session. Thanks again for joining us. Today we're going to look at 3 topics in particular, as we've said. One, just the sort of thinking and approach around how to acquire new and regular donors, and building an effective donor journey, which, as we discussed before, is the buzzword of our sector this minute. Everybody is aware that we have to build more effective donor journeys, particularly with acquisition being so expensive and so difficult to attain. We're then going to, Phil's going to take you through getting the most out of the grants, which I know is huge to so many charities and NGOs. And then Keane's going to take you through a programmatic, how it works, how you can get more out of it for your appeals, for your organization. I want to make some key points first. As we covered last time around, when we talk about the digital landscape, this is all I want you to think about, not the complexity of what's behind, under the hood and behind the scenes. The only digital landscape that matters is your supporters or donors' phone, laptops, or tablets. Whatever appears on that screen is the digital landscape. It doesn't matter where it came from and who sent it. That's the ability they see it. That's the only window that they see you through and engage with you through. Second point is some warnings of language. I'm a copywriter by trade, by design. And words are fantastic, but they are so powerful, they shape what we do. We regularly use, and I will use today's everywhere, we will use words like conversion and acquisition and retention. These are the words we use to describe donors and how we do them. But it makes us seem like, it helps to frame us constantly, that we are somehow or other trying to catch them, that we're trying to manipulate them, corner them, cajole them, convince them into giving donors. That's fundamentally to misunderstand the relationship. Your donors and your supporters are your shareholders. They are our funders. They are our family. Without them, nothing exists. It's really key to sort of shift perspective. When you're building successful donor programs, donor journeys, or donor communications, it's really important to shift the perspective. That they don't just serve our needs. We need funds. We have to build. They have to get it off them. We serve their wishes. Our function as charities and NGOs is to serve them. They are people who want to help. They want to help causes that are dear to their heart. They want to find organizations that will help them do that. That's our job. Fundraising is, in my humble estimation, it's about finding the people who want to help, finding out how they want to help, and then making it easy for them to help. That's the key. And this, above all other things, be patient. There's when we talk about digital, we get completely seduced by the speed of it, the instantaneous nature of it. The fact that you can post an ad, get it out there, get a response, you can test it. It can all be done in a huge amount of detail to be processed in a couple of hours. And we all have this impression that it all happens so quick and so fast. We scroll through hundreds of emails a day, hundreds of ads. We're in this fast-paced world. And therefore, if we don't get responses immediately, we think, oh, it's dead. And that's not true. Constantly, and we'll all be aware of this, there are loads and loads of donors and supporters who join the organization months, 12 months, 18 months after a first engagement. They may go somewhere along your journey and engage with you and then drop off and then find another communication somewhere else and come back in again. So you've got to stick with it and be patient. Don't get too seduced by the speed of digital. Digital moves fast. Donors move as donors always move. So with those caveats in mind, I want to take you through just some core principles about acquiring and regular donors in digital. Now, in Persuasion Republic, we have a model that we run with our clients where we will do this very sort of forensic program of doing this. We will go in, look at your organization, look at your social media, look at your website, look at your donor base, and design a program that will, over a period of time, put out lead generations to try and find new donors, to cultivate those donors, to develop those donors specifically towards regular giving. It involves a huge amount of communications, a huge amount of testing and analytics constantly evolving as it goes. That's the model. It's very popular. If you're interested in that, please give us a shout. We'll talk you through it. But what I'm talking about here today is that the principles that are used in that very sort of detailed and forensic model are the same principles that you can use at a very low level. Not every organization has the capacity to do all that you can do, which very few do. But there's so much that you can do, and the core principles are always the same. 3 simple guidelines when acquiring donors, retaining donors, protecting donors. You need to talk to them, and you need to let them talk to you. It's got to be a two-way communication, and it's got to be constant. It's got to be not just only a 5-email program and then put out some social media ads to engage them. It's got to be a constant engagement because they will come and go. You need to make them feel involved, not just that they're giving you money. They need to actively feel that they have agency, that they have a genuine connection to your organization and cause, because they will see it as part of their identity. The long-term donors, the regular donors, the donors that you really want to find, the donors who really want to find you, will see that connection with that charity as part of their identity. You've got to let them feel that. Because, as we come back to time and time again, it's all about the feeling. Digital, even though it's very technical, and it's very, we get to Google Analytics and it comes into pie charts and that's that I don't understand the basic principle underneath all of that. It's all about the feeling. So the first step in acquiring new donors or developing donors for your organization is that you start with the people you know. So they are people who've just given you one gift, or people that you have on your database that have made some connection, or that have inquired, or maybe service users. The people on your database that you're ready for connection with, you've got to interrogate all of that list first and asking yourself some key questions. 1, have you told them all your story? Quite often we engage with our donors by going, well, we desperately need your funds because we want to do this particular service. And that's all that we tell them. And there's so much more to tell them, so much more that they need to know. Ask yourself, have you genuinely let them get involved? So you have a couple of donors in your database who've only donated once, 8 months ago. You wonder, how do I contact them? How do you get more of that? Ask yourself those questions. Have we actually communicated that value of story? Have we actually genuinely allowed them and encouraged them to get involved? So what you need to do and think about doing is to set a comprehensive series of emails in particular, but social media posts and ads as well will accompany this for all your supporters. It needs to be constantly there. These aren't little programs that sort of you switch on and off. You've got to be sort of constantly there. In particular for new donors, for somebody who's just given the first donation, quite quickly, the idea is to have them onto a bespoke series of communications just for them. Should be about 12 to 20 automated emails. It's programmed, it's built, you know it's going to go. So as soon as somebody appears out of the blue for whatever reason, responds to your notice of donation, that you will then communicate over a sustained period of time. And you will tell them your story. You will tell them all their story. And then you've got to keep the conversation going. We've talked before about the donor journey, not being your donor's journey, but your supporter's journey, because we fixate on this moment of donation, where there is so much important stuff happens before the moment of donation, and so much important stuff happens after the moment of donation. The donation is just one act. The engagement with your organization is a much wider and more holistic thing. So you need to keep the conversation going to keep that connection alive. You should be aiming, this is the aim, this is the idea, to communicate with your donors. A lot of people will be frightened by that, think, oh, that's too much within the frightened way. I want to make the last thing around. If you are genuinely connected with an organization, receiving an email with real content, with real purpose, once a week often is not going to push you right. If it does, it's a question of much you don't know or lower you don't know right. So here's leads to all your story because you have more content than you need to know. People are frightened. Think about the fact that we send out newsletters. That's one email with 4 topics. Imagine sending out 4 emails with 1 topic each. Same content, instead of shorter period of time. More is the key. Can't say this enough. You need to communicate more with your donors. Because the more people understand about you, the more they engage, the more likely they are to give. And regular donations, this is key. They are more likely to set up a regular donation if they've already made 1 or 2 cash donations. So when you're communicating through EDM, through your social media, through ads, you've got to tell all your story. Tell the stories of beneficiaries and staff. Tell the full story. Give surveys, quizzes, so they can engage with you and give their voice. Give insight content. Ask regularly. You cannot ask regularly enough. Send regular reminders. And this is key. But it goes back to the thing about it being at the field. You're with your donors. Yes, you want them to see the need. This is the formula of all fundraising that we are about. Need and impact, need and impact. We need to see the needs, they need to see the impact. But most critically, they need to feel the joy. Every organization, all the organizations that are included in here today, the work that you do is something, the joy that you bring, the life-changing stuff is extraordinary. Donors need to feel that. That's why they give. They give to feel that connection, to feel that emotional connection with people, to feel that satisfaction in helping. And you need to give that access to them. Once you've done your own supporters, find new supporters. This is the model game. This will be available in the report for the LG Facilities Bill. The key steps are finding people who share your values. So you put out surveys, questionnaires out as lead generation to see who actually shares the values that you share. And then you inspire them to take action, to opt in, to sign surveys, sign petitions, to see if they're actually engaged. Then you encourage them to take a second action straight away. This is key. The sooner you ask for a second, not just a second financial ask, but a second engagement as soon as possible. That's key. And that's how we nurture the relationship over a period of time. You've got to make that path easy as well. Have a think about this. The user experience really matters. So you got to test how they respond to content. You got to test how their landing page, your donation page works. You got to test as much as you can, content form, opt-in buttons, all of that. And then implement the changes. You do so many tests so many times and then don't implement the changes. Test your testing. Assess whether your data systems are able to tell you what you need to know. You're going to need to be able to track leads and donations from different sets of channels. If you can't do that, explore some outside support. Contact us, contact Havas. Other agencies are available, as they say, television ads. But you can get loads of outside help to help you analyze that data. And then you simply make a testing plan. Work in sort of 4 to 6 weeks sort of units. Test, I'd say, sort of one thing every 2 weeks. Do small. Make those small changes. Then turning off small badly performing ads or changing copy to something that didn't get a good response last time. Make all those little changes. It's all about little incremental changes. It's not big silver bullets, for example. Little incremental changes. Do 1 every 2 weeks, 4 to 6 weeks, and set a new plan and keep going. Set a plan through the year. And most importantly, of our plans. And we can build these fantastic donor support journeys. We can build this great content that we share that we share off as. Ask regularly, communicate regularly. Include at least 1 or 2 cash asks early in the donor journey, even for first donors. Include asks in the footers, thank yous. And if you're going to ask for a regular gift, ask for a regular gift and demonstrate why a regular gift as opposed to a new gift is necessary. Far too often we ask for regular gifts by going, be really handy for us if we didn't have to keep on asking you donation regularly, as opposed to explaining why particularly regular gifts is good. I'll leave with these 3 things. 3 things you can do today to improve that. 1, add an ask to the footer you mentioned that if there isn't in there. Run 1 test, however small it is. Social ad, NAD, media, 1 little test, learn from it, improve it. And then remind yourself of why you do the work that you do. Because you all do extraordinary work for extraordinary organizations. That's why your donors donate for the seminars. Last time around, we introduced this year, so it's doing the part of he says about it.
It's all about the feeling.
The secret, the real secret to donor acquisition, to donor conversion, to donor retention is to remember that it is always all about the feeling. Once those donors engage with you, genuine engagement, they will respond. I'm going to stop talking briefly on it. I'll stop showing for a second. I'm going to pass over the widget to Fiona, who's going to take you through your Google Grants from here, and I'll tune in straight on. Thanks, Fiona.
Great, so hi, I'm Fiona. I'm the head of PPC here at Havas Media. And yeah, as Alan said, I will be taking you through how to get the most out of your Google Ads grant accounts. So whether you're brand new to setting up campaigns or you do have some experience, the next few slides will really go into the basics, how to set a campaign up or restructure it to ensure that it aligns with your business goals, leads you to success, and also is in line with Google's latest best practices. So just to, yes, go back to basics. So what is paid search, and I suppose why do we use it and the benefits of it? So it operates as a pay-per-click model. So you only pay when the ad is actually clicked on and someone moves to your website. So unlike other forms of advertising, you don't actually need to pay to be shown on Google's results page, which allows you to remain top of mind when people are going through their journey, and just really maximize on the traffic by focusing the budget there. So it's one of the most effective platforms to reach new donors, as people are, you know, in market, they're looking for what it is you offer. And then also, yeah, you can work with a budget that works for your organizations, but also utilize the Google Grants that is available to you. And on that point, I know that there has been a few questions on actually how to get your Google Grants account set up and see if you're eligible. So when we share these slides, you will see these links. So one is find out information on the grants, and also to just check out the eligibility and see if your organization fits the profile. This can vary country to country. So you should be able to find all your information there. And then there's also a link on actually getting started with the process. So I have a screenshot of the form here. So once you confirm you're eligible, you can continuing on by getting onto Google, providing a bit of information, and then Google will take some time for the verification, and then yeah, hopefully you can activate your products. And as I mentioned, during the next few slides, I will help you in getting that set up. I'm also aware that a lot of organizations actually have their Google Grants account, but may not have run any campaigns through them before. Maybe it's a bit daunting getting started in a campaign if you're not so familiar with building one out. Last year, we were actually very fortunate to be able to work with one organization in particular, help them build up their campaigns within the grants account, manage their activity during the key Christmas period for donations. And then, you know, it's set up to run as an always on campaign for the rest of the year when we hand it back to that client. So if there is anyone here who, after the presentation, would like a discussion on what that may look like for you, please do feel free to reach out. But yeah, we'll kick into being present at all stages of the journey. So Google Ads is one of the most effective ways to do this. So I have a few examples of where upper funnel generic keywords drive awareness and support and maximize reach. So while these types of searches, you know, they mightn't be ready to donate yet, as I mentioned, by just staying top of mind when these searches occur, It is just, reminding them you're there. And then when they move down to more specific searches, being there to capture them at that stage, all the way down to the low funnel where they will be searching for either your brand or competitor keywords, and really capture their attention when they are in that frame of mind to lead to a conversion. So before we go into talking about how to, pick the keywords, build up your campaigns in order to be present at each stage of the journey, it is crucial to understand the bidding process. So naturally, when you're bidding on keywords, you do go into an auction with Google, but unlike most auctions, it's not just the highest bid that wins. So we really will be focusing on ad rank throughout the next few slides. So in combination with the bid, it's arguably the most important thing you can do to set your campaigns up for success. And it's essentially, yes, a combination of maximum bids, quality score, and the quality score is based on factors. So in my next slide, I have all the factors that contribute to you building up that ad rank, which ultimately allows you to rank higher compared to your competitors and compared to some of the advertisers that just might be paying more, but mightn't have the best, the best quality ad or structure. At the end of the day, Google is a business themselves. They want the most valuable ad to be showing up for each and every search. So once you can, prove that your ad matches the keyword you're bidding on, and then that ultimately leads to a relevant landing page. There are three of the core things to bear in mind and are essential when setting up your campaigns from the start, just to ensure you're getting, you're showing the best quality ad for each and every search. So yes, in terms of how to build out the campaign to enhance your ad rank, I will go through a few points here. Just really, if you kind of get this right at the start, the rest does fall into place a little easier. So first of all, for the purpose of this, when you choose the search campaign type, it's essential to align this with your business goals. So whether that be leads, website traffic, or conversions, by you feeding that information to Google, it really allows their machine learning to understand this is the type of person you want to optimize towards. And in behind the scenes, they will factor that in when optimizing your campaigns and just ensure you're reaching people at the right stage of their journey and to drive cost efficiencies with that budget. So in terms of when you are choosing your keywords, the best way to do this is using Google Keyword Planner. So this is available within the Google Ads account and is located up on the right-hand side corner on the tools and settings. So from this, you can plug in the information of the types of keywords you want to target, which ones you think you should, and you can also plug in your landing page to that Google crawler and come back with some suggestions. And this will show you how they rank in terms of demand, where the high search volumes are, but also how they fluctuate on a month-to-month basis, where some months, Christmas is the obvious example, is, the keywords that people are searching for around that time. And then, as it goes on through the year, you can weight your budget efficiently based on the expected demand. So some additional keyword research. So Google Trends, again, this really shows when some keywords might perform best and when you really want to, maybe be a little bit more aggressive in bidding and just weight the budget strategically. And also the Google search bar itself is one of the most effective ways to find potential keywords, particularly long tail keywords. So yeah, they essentially show the most popular searches, similar to the ones you typed in for the last 30 days. And yeah, will just help you keep optimizing that keyword list. Don't just set it live and keep the same keywords. Continue to look at this, look at the trends, and incorporate that into your strategies. So when it comes to actually formatting those keywords and building them into an effective campaign, it's all about segmentation, and this is arguably one of the most important parts of setting your campaigns up for success. So essentially, a campaign is a series of ad groups. Ad groups is a series of keywords, and each ad group will have one designated ads. So historically on Google, you would segment them more closely together when grouping your keywords. The best practice with modern day search is grouping as many closely relevant keywords together as possible. And by doing this, it feeds the Google machine learning with optimal data to be able to optimize your ad efficiently and decide which ad is most essential for that keyword. So as I mentioned, each ad group will have designated responsive search ads. So you should have at least one in there. You have 15 headlines to feed the ad along with 4 descriptions. If you get the keywords within that ad group to match as closely as you can to the responsive search ads, and they are all great, they are all relevant, this will contribute to you serving the most high value ad for each search and essentially allow you to raise that rank when you are showing the Google results page. So I think one of the things we don't talk about much, while the Google Grants account is incredible for the organizations, you get a budget to put towards your organization and to achieve your goals every month. There are some limitations just to be aware of. So while there is the 10K monthly budget, it is split on a daily basis. So it means that if your budget runs out at any given day and your ads will stop displaying, and likewise, if you don't spend the daily budget, then your free ad spend, unfortunately, doesn't run over to the next day. And also one slight drawback is that paid ads actually automatically rank higher just because there can be a bit cap on those coming from the Google Grants. So I'm only bringing this up to say if there was an option within your marketing budget to run a separate Google Ads campaign beyond the Google Grants account, just at key periods throughout the years, such as Christmas, it really would be maximizing on that traffic and getting the full benefits from Google Ads. It will also open you up to exploring features such as the Performance Max campaign, which is arguably the best campaign type to use in driving that conversion value. It allows you to use the rich assets that you may already have, display your ads across display, discovery, YouTube, and search, just by providing Google Ads the information on the assets you have, the people you want to target, and what you want to achieve, and really trying to get in on that AI machine learning and help Google just optimize towards things that we mightn't necessarily be able to optimize to ourselves. So as I mentioned, if you have any questions at all, please feel free to reach out. And yeah, I hope that helps when setting up that campaign and getting going. I will now pass you on to Cian, who will take you through the introduction to programmatic.
Perfect, thank you. So I'm just going to run through our programmatic campaigns, basically what programmatic is, who I am, what we can do for your campaigns using this form of media buying. And programmatic is traditionally quite a new format. It kind of uses traditional means of media buying and uses data to kind of not really revolutionize it, but kind of add efficiency to it. So my role in Havas has been working on the programmatic campaigns for the past year, and this would involve the strategy, the planning behind the campaign, how we can really leverage our formats, our insights into different media buying formats, and how we can really optimize towards what the client's overall goals are. And then throughout campaigns, we can track in real time what the campaign is, how it's doing, and we can look into data that we have to really get the maximum value out of the campaign. And then I would also look at the post-campaign analysis, what we've done right, what trends we saw, how we can use these in the future. And basically, it's just how to take value out of a campaign, apply it to future campaigns, and show what the overall business goals are, where did we achieve them, what we can do with our campaigns. So I'm just going to run through initially the introduction of programmatic, what it is, and then how we plan it, how we use our overall strategy to kind of work towards the client's goals, how we're targeting people, how we're reaching our audiences through the campaigns, that we're reaching the right audience in the right place, what formats we're using to appear to our audience, what the right formats are at different stages, and then how we're optimizing and reporting through our campaigns to really increase our performance, maximize our value to the campaign, and get the overall best results. And then I'm going to touch finally on some of the future trends to look out for in programmatic and what that would mean to the future of our overall ad campaigns. So what is programmatic? Programmatic is the use of automation and data to really improve formerly kind of inefficient tasks. So with media buying in the past, it required a lot of intermediaries. We'd have to go directly through publishers. There'd be a lot of human intervention, a lot of negotiation there. Whereas now with programmatic, it is a lot more centralized in data hubs. There's platforms online, which gives inventory from a plethora of publishers across the internet that we can access in the one space, and we can use our data to access the right inventory at the right time to the right user using all of this data. So the main formats we've used through programmatic are display, video, and audio. And recently we've started looking at out-of-home inventory. These would be the billboards we see on the side of the street. They're a lot more digital billboards we see now, and it's how we use data to really maximize the value of these formats. So the benefit of using the programmatic in your media buying is firstly the efficiency of it. Because we're not going through many intermediaries, we're saving time and saving money through absolutely adding the ultimate efficiency to the campaign. It's because it's all centralized in one place, and we have the data available to us to really maximize the effectiveness of the ads, the effectiveness of the campaign. We're getting optimal value. And then another value to it is the precision of it. We can use the data that we have online to really reach the right audience at the right time, in the right placement, where they want to be seen really is the most important thing, and who to show the ad to. So you're not showing the ad just across the web, you're really showing it to audiences that have a high propensity to really interact with your content, but also ensuring that we're doing this at scale. We have the scale through the data available to us. And this is across multiple publishers. We typically aim towards moving our content and our inventory within the Irish market for many campaigns. But I will now run through how we would buy the programmatic inventory. So the main way we buy programmatic inventory is through the open auction. This would be the most scalable way of buying programmatic inventory. These use kind of online servers that a multitude of different publishers would be on. So it's called DSP that we use, and there's basically these ad exchanges where we can buy our inventory to, and it's the most scalable. There's the highest amount of users we can reach, it's the broadest across the web. And while that may seem that we're just showing our ads to everyone, there's a lot of layers of targeting still. We have a lot of brand safety layered in. We have different criteria to meet the objectives of the campaign. So we layer in a lot of audience targeting here, a lot of brand safety measures, as well as certain placements that we'd have. So we could have site whitelists that we ensure that while we're buying on the open exchange, we're ensuring that we're still going onto brand suitable and brand safe content and brand safe websites. And then we can narrow it down to PMP deals. This is a more premium way of buying programmatic inventory. This is where publishers would open up their premium inventory on their site for us to bid on. So it would be, it wouldn't be necessarily an open marketplace. It would be a select few bidders on their inventory. So you're not guaranteed to get the same amount of inventory as you would on open exchange, but you know the inventory you're buying is really high quality. You could be buying certain placements on their site if you want to align yourself with, say, finance or business within a publisher site. You can ensure that you're setting up these PMP deals to reach the right placements on sites rather than just any placement on any site. And then perhaps the most kind of aligned way of buying to the traditional ways would be the PG deals. These are programmatic guarantee deals. They'd be closest to the direct IO method of buying, where we would agree with a publisher in advance of a campaign what inventory we want to buy. So we'd agree a set amount of impressions. Say we wanted to buy 100,000 impressions on the Irish Times. We could agree this with them in advance, and we're agreeing a certain price and a certain amount of inventory we'd be getting. And this would run through the campaign. We can layer in additional targeting here, and I'll go into the targeting that we can apply later on in this discussion. So while we're ensuring that we're appearing on the right placements, we also need to decide what formats we show on these placements. So the main formats that we have are display, video, and audio for programmatic. And I touched on earlier out of home. This would be something I can look into later. So mainly with display, this would be the banner ads that you would see on an online placements. These are static ads. They're images that we place all along the web, and we would place these across multiple devices. So this is something I can touch on, where we would ensure that the banner ads that we have are optimized towards certain devices. So the main devices we'd have for display would be desktop, tablet, and mobile. And we would ensure that we have the right format for these. So if you're on an online browser, if you're on a site, if you see, say, for example, at the top of an article, the large banner you'd see across the screen, that would be a 970 by 250 billboard. There are multiple different formats we can use, and it's on our end, it's how we decide to use the right format for the right objective, and that's something we'll look into. And with video, then, this is another format where we would play a video ad either within a streaming site or outstream. So it would be placed within an article or within a web page. And the main devices we'd run this on would be on desktop, tablet, mobile, and connected TV as well. Connected TV is a growing market within the programmatic space, and this is a big format for a lot of our video campaigns. It ensures that we're showing on big screen, basically. And with video ads, we would look towards certain specifications for ads. So we want ads that will show well on a mobile, but also that fit the screen if they were to be delivered on connected TV. So there's different format sizes that we would ask for campaigns, and we also look towards different lengths for our videos. So we would optimize our video lengths towards different objectives. Say, for example, we wanted to run a very informational, educational campaign with a video. We would opt towards a kind of mid to long form video to really get across the whole brand aspect, cover the whole informational piece of the brand or storytelling aspect of it. Whereas if we wanted just a short, snappy video that just catches users' attention straight away, we look towards smaller 10-second, 15-second videos that if someone's scrolling on their phone, they'll just see it, they'll get the full message within a short time frame, and their attention will be captured. And then on audio, this is a format that we buy across a multitude of publishers such as Spotify, Audio XI. This would be a format that we'd kind of co-align with the overall radio strategy. So we could run a digital audio campaign in tandem with a radio campaign. And these audio ads would typically be around 30 seconds in length at most. And they'd be played pre-roll during a podcast or during a music video or after as well. And with these formats, we typically buy it through DSP. So the main would be DV360. This is a Google-owned platform. And this would be the most scalable platform we'd use, where we have some alternatives as well. So there's Quantcast and Converge that would integrate different buying options. So there'd be different kind of targeting options we can access through these platforms. And then I'll just touch on the targeting options that we have. So at the most basic level, we would look towards targeting users based on their geolocation and their basic demographics. So if we had a campaign where we wanted to target someone in Dublin, we could ensure that the campaign only delivers there. If we wanted to target someone, users that are aged 18 to 44 or 35 plus, we could layer this in. And we can also target contextually. So this, rather than targeting the user themselves, it's targeting where the ads are being seen. So it'll be targeting placements within sites. So if we wanted to target, say, sports fans, we could contextually appear on sports sections on news sites, so that we're optimizing our campaign towards users that already have a high propensity to engage this content. And then we can target users based on their interests and their affinities to a certain topic. So this is available through affinity targeting. So this uses cookies to capture users' previous interests in topics. So we could target based on previous search history, previous online usage of certain topics, and we can also layer in keywords that they've previously searched. So we're really honing down into specific audiences. And then probably the most important here is the first party data and how we leverage the sites themselves to really get the users that have been on the site in the past while and showing the ad to the right users that have shown a high propensity to engage with that advertiser's actual content. And then I'm just going to touch on how to apply a full funnel approach to programmatic. So using the formats I discussed, there are different ways to guide consumers down the journey from their awareness, consideration, and then finally to taking action. In the initial awareness stage, as I spoke before, we want to really capture users that want to engage in the informational piece of the campaign. We want to have high impact formats, educational formats across video, audio, and display. So these would be the mid-form ads and the larger banner display ads. Then in the consideration stage, we want to really capture users that have already been exposed to this awareness phase and capture them with kind of bigger call to action, smaller, kind of quick, snappy formats that really re-engage them and promote consideration with them. And then with the conversion phase, this is where we want to integrate our first party audiences. We want to capture the users that have throughout this campaign shown a really high propensity to engage in this ad. We want to push them over the line into converting. So we would integrate certain call to actions onto the ads. We can overlay ads with certain call to actions to promote them to really take an action to donate. And this can be done across display and video. And most recently with audio, we have some new formats where users can speak into their smart devices or they can shake their phone with an audio ad. And then finally, I'll just touch on some key industry trends. So with the targeting options I mentioned before, where we could use cookies to leverage audiences across the internet, this is going to be deprecated in the next year, where a lot of third-party data will be lost. And as such, we have to find new innovative methods to target users. So one of the main methods would be through contextual targeting rather than targeting the user themselves, to target where the ads are being shown, where they're looking on the web, and also first party data. So using an advertiser's own website to target users that have previously engaged in a website, capturing those really high propensity audiences. And then there are some new formats within the programmatic space. So programmatic out of home ads, as I mentioned before, this is a new method of buying out of home ads that we're adding that efficiency to the programmatic out of home ads. We can see based on real time data where out of home ads are being shown, and we can capture different placements within Ireland, say. And then with connected TV, this is emergence with linear TV. So we're really capturing the high attentive state users in when they're watching their traditional TV, but we're also integrating the data and the targeting from programmatic to really ensure we're reaching the right audiences on this format. And then finally, X, which is formerly Twitter. This is development within the programmatic space that these ads are now being introduced as a programmatic buying format. So this is another trend where a lot of these traditionally kind of formats that would be bought on their own servers are now becoming programmatic and becoming centralized. So this adds efficiency across the board. So I hope this made sense to you. And if you have any questions, please let me know.
We'll come back in to join the queue. You can stop. You can stop sharing, Katie. Thanks a million, Keith. Thanks a million, Fiona. We were determined to try and make these 45 minutes. We'll, of course, run over. A couple of questions came in. Just to ask first, someone was asking, can you explain what connected TV is as opposed to normal TV?
So connected TV is, if you know on your TV at the moment, a lot of TVs now are smart TVs. So whereas traditionally you'd have just your Skybox, now there's apps within your TV. So there's your YouTube, we have different streaming apps that these are linked up with our programmatic servers. So the data on your TV, your viewing history is linked to certain accounts. So we have the data there on the likes of YouTube, where if you are on your TV, we can use programmatic buying online to reach users. Whereas traditionally in the past with linear TV, you're buying the ad space, whereas you're not necessarily understanding who exactly is viewing it. Whereas now we know the audience we're reaching through our TV. So
that's such a development because television always was, I think always will be, the most powerful medium at all. You can get yourself on TV. You're doing yourself a huge amount of failures. Another good question somebody asked was about how all this sort of connects up with stuff. And I'm reminded of a thing that we discussed last time around. All the sort of the search words that usually Google grant and the programmatic is almost like this way of catching people's attention, like the shorter ads we were talking about. When you go back to think that the questionnaire we had the first time after those who were there, that we all on average receive 40 to 100 emails a day. We see hundreds of digital ads every day. We swipe through them, like I think that's the amount that you actually engage with. So like your donor and your supporter, it's not that they don't care enough about you. There's just so much light and information going around it. Attracting their attention is hard. So you've either got to be very shiny or more effectively very present all the time. So that you can catch their attention. And you catch their attention, yes, with bright shiny things, you also catch their attention with good content, with the heart, with the cause that they're actually concerned with. The important thing is that once they've started to engage, is that you satisfy that engagement. So there's deeper content available. That's on landing pages and websites where you ask them to go through emails, so important, and through your social media, that you can tell all your story and let them engage with it. The front end of it vital to attract their attention. What you do when you got their attention is absolutely key. To stop them being that thing that when they respond to that person goes, oh look, there's a charity, I feel for them, I'll make a donation. Communication sort of dies, and they become that person in the database who gave 16 months ago. We now call them the apps, how do we engage with you? And we do this because we talk to them for 16 months, or let them engage with you for 16 months. We're as guilty of that as everybody that went election. It's difficult.
I suppose just to touch on that, how the three presentations link up today as part of that donor journey. You know, and Keane's running the programmatic, will update budget around that time. So you know, it's staying top of mind, driving that awareness. When they go to take action, they search. We're there to capture them with the PPC ads, and then the follow up with the email. So really just nurturing them all along that journey. They might even notice the ad, but it is staying top of mind just from seeing it, and then we're there throughout the steps to follow through.
And of course, the key is like there's so much that you can do digitally. Like the extent of it is kind of limitless, but nobody has the capacity or the time or the budget for that. So, but there's every little step sort of helps, and which is what we're here for. I mean, if we both of us offer a wide range of services, that's loads of other agencies, to help you on that way. So we don't be afraid to reach out to ask, to inquire, to discuss it, whether we're open to talk to you about what's involved and how we might be able to help you, give you some advice, give you some tips. There's something that will fit you, that will help you, that will fit within your budget and your time scale and your capacity. Thanks a million for joining us. If you're around, we will send a link around this and the recording is there. We'll be back in 2 weeks' time. Same back time, same back channel. Where we will be discussing email, we will also be discussing social media
and GA4. I know there's a lot of questions around that at the moment. You know, a lot of developments lately. So yeah, we'll have our very talented Adam Smith here to discuss.
Thanks, Liam. In the meantime, reach out to us during the week. Any questions, anything you'd like to specifically answer in 2 weeks' time, do let us know. Thank you so much for joining us today. Thanks to Keane and Fiona, and it's the Havas team for hosting us here. Go have your lunch. Have a good rest of the day. Thanks for